30th of April 1995. After 92 years, this was the day Middlesbrough Football Club staged their final match at Ayresome Park. An historic occasion destined for a special place in the hearts of everyone who loved the borough. Some of the club's most famous names turned up to pay their last respects.
Supporting as well, and still with White, and Hendry! Goal! Borough! John Hendry's second, and Middlesbrough back in charge.
But it was not just an emotional farewell. The final victory over Luton Town was to prove enough to claim the First Division Championship and promotion to the Premiership at the first attempt for new player boss Brian Robson. Farewell to Ayresome Park is a unique record of the day the borough gave their fans the perfect leaving party before the move to their new home, the Riverside Stadium. It was an occasion not to be missed. A full house was guaranteed and supporters arrived bright and early.
What do you think of the new ground?
Fantastic. Step forward for Middlesbrough Football Club, definitely.
And it's going to be Premier League football for Middlesbrough?
Oh, no question, no question.
We'll win today, 2-0. Nobody's going to touch us. We've got the championship. That's ours.
What's your first memories of Ayresome Park?
Oh, too many. Have you got about an hour left?
There was a warm reception for the borough heroes of old who arrived on a special team coach.
I remember when we played in 73-74 under Jack Charlton, and we walked away with the second division at that time. And really the atmosphere around the club for the last month or so was really fantastic. A party atmosphere, and hopefully it'll be the same today.
April the 6th, 1974. And Ayresome Park salute the team that ended a 20-year exile from the First Division. Jack Charlton's men had just rattled off their 9th win in a row. The second division title had already been guaranteed with 6 games left. Big Jack had inherited most of his team from Stan Anderson. Charlton made them unstoppable, with Celtic's gifted Bobby Murdoch his inspired key signing. Ayresome Park became a fortress. 20 home games without defeat. These were the days when the manager's wife worked in the club shop. The players who made up that team became the backbone of Borough's history. Right back John Craggs topped the loyalty list, with 8 of them passing the 300-game mark, including his fullback partner Frank Spraggan. Striker John Hickton was a well-established crowd favourite, and Holgate Enders really took to leading scorer Alan Foggan, a genuine north-east character. Exciting youngsters made their mark too, like livewire David Mills. David Armstrong began a quite astonishing run of playing every game for 7 seasons. And Graham Souness, a Scottish midfielder rejected by Spurs, was on his way to world stardom. But in typical Charlton style, success was based on defence. Skipper Stuart Bone was a man of granite. Cultured Willie Madron a perfect partner at the back. Irish keeper Jim Platt let in just 30 league goals. It all added up to Big Jack giving Ayresome Park its most successful team in 92 years of league football. Around 100 borough old boys from 7 different decades had made it to the Ayresome Park leaving party, the VIP marquee a real who's who of Middlesbrough's Hall of Fame.
That was the dream from leaving school, play at Ayresome Park. You know, there was no wanting to go to Manchester United and things like that. The local clubs then was the main issue.
There's been some great times, you know. Obviously the playoffs against Bradford City, Chelsea. I was fortunate to score goals in those games. The 4-1 game we beat Newcastle United, and then there was a semi-final which I scored. Unfortunately, again, it was against Aston Villa. It took us to Wembley for the first time in the club's history. So those are great memories.
Slaven was a member of the team that won promotion less than a year after the borough almost went out of business. Ayresome Park looked to have staged its final game in 1986, when the official receiver moved in to shut the gates on Middlesbrough's football future. In the summer of '86, no one dared imagine the ground would celebrate scenes like these less than 12 months later. This man was the inspiration, Bruce Rioch. September 2nd, 1986, and possibly the most important cup tie in Borough history. Hartlepool in the Littlewoods Cup, and Ayresome Park was back in business. Fittingly, Borough celebrated with a fine goal by Stuart Ripley, one of the hardcore of young local talent, around which Rioch and Colin Todd rebuilt Teesside football. The new manager inherited a club that had slid into the third division for only the second time. They stayed just one season. The promotion celebrations had a deeper meaning after near extinction. But Rioch had created a driving force that wouldn't stop. On the pitch, he could rely on another all-time Borough great, Tony Mowbray. Mowbray was a player of true grit. Alongside him, a talent destined to be a star, Gary Pallister. The fans felt this was really their team, not big money buys. The players were fully developed, like top scorer Bernie Slaven. At £25,000, surely the Borough's best ever bargain. Home defeat by Leicester in the final home match gave Borough one of the worst days, with automatic promotion snatched away. Yet this team's spirit was to win through. The playoffs gave Teesside unforgettable drama and First Division status once again. This time it really was the final league match at Ayresome Park. A day for the men who made Borough history to bid a fond farewell to the famous old stadium. Some had said goodbye a few weeks earlier. Brian Clough missed the final day at Ayresome Park. He made his final visit 12 weeks before the end of the season. The launch of his new book coincided with the club's celebration of George Hardwick's 75th birthday.
Nice to meet you again. Thanks, Ben. Right, bye. Thanks for looking after me when I was a villain. I will. You're welcome.
In his playing days, Clough scored 204 goals for Borough in just 222 games. Now, well into retirement, Clough still hasn't lost his touch in front of the cameras.
Wilf used to do this pitch.
Brian, was it a special? Was it a special?
Shut up when I'm talking,
okay.
man. One of the arts of being interviewed or being an interviewer is just delay after you've asked the question, and then you get a lot of answers.
Okay, Brian.
All right, and relax, man.
Right. Okay.
How old are you?
I'm 27.
You look older.
Thanks, Brian. You look younger.
Yeah, thanks very much. I'm only kidding.
This was your hometown club, of course. Was it special? Was it special for you to play all these games for your hometown club?
Was it what?
Was it a special time for you playing for your hometown club?
Well, it was the only thing I could do. It was either that or being a messenger boy in the ICI, and I wasn't too keen on that. And I couldn't read very well in those days. To be fair, I'm not too clever now. And I couldn't deliver letters, messenger boys. So I thought, well, God gave me some talent. I might as well try and play football.
Great. And how would you describe that? I mean, that's the Holgate. You've probably ran to that a few times in your time here. How would you describe the feeling of scoring in front of the Holgate?
Same feeling as I got wherever I scored. One of elation.
Right.
And one of pleasure.
Good.
And one of having... they use phrases nowadays called job satisfaction. Now, I didn't know what that meant in my bloody day, but my day was sticking the ball in the net. And I assumed I got job satisfaction.
Great. Okay.
And I did it more than most people.
And you scored quite a few goals for Middlesbrough in those days, and maybe a lot of people think you should have won more caps than the two that you did for England.
Yeah, I wish I'd have been working for the Football Association. I would have won more.
Do you feel maybe that you were perhaps a little bit too controversial and maybe that held you back in playing?
I wasn't controversial at all. I was just a wee bit different to them.
Outspoken, maybe?
Well, I wasn't too outspoken, actually. But I was a wee bit different to them.
When you look back at your Middlesbrough days, I mean, there was a lot of goals and it was a great team. I mean, I'm sure you could name a lot of the players that you played alongside there. You don't need any reminder of the likes of Halliday, Day, Peacock.
Well, Lindy Della Penna comes straight to mind because I used to work with Lindy, Uglini, Roland Uglini, and Dickie Robinson was centre-half when I first started. And you can keep going and going. When I started to get on a wee bit, it was Alan Peacock, Derek McLean, Billy Day, Holiday on the left. He was an absolute bloody rake from Barnsley. Still is, actually. But nice with it. He got away with it. And good player, actually.
One of the old boys who did make the final day at Ayresome Park was Cloughey's old striking partner, Alan Peacock. Peacock, a player who spent his entire career in the second division, but still managed to get an England call-up for the 1962 World Cup.
I always felt that we didn't seem to have any luck at Ayresome, and I think that's gone right through the years, and I'm hoping that the new stadium brings us good luck and we'll go on from there.
What's your first memories there playing at Ayresome Park? You must have some regret about it as well.
Playing here, just the characters that were in the team at the time. I was only 17-year-old, and I was playing the likes of Rolando, Ugolini, all these absolutely marvellous, terrific characters, and that's what I'll miss about the game. But I'm sure that we'll go on from the new stadium, and these players will all come again. They'll all come back to the new stadium. I hope so anyway, because it's a final get-together for this stadium, and I hope that we're going to have the same turnout probably when we get in the new stadium. I'd like to see them all together again. Lovely.
Borough's two most famous names played in the same team, and they've been hard to separate ever since. Fullback George Hardwick, an England captain, and Quicksilver centre-forward Wilf Mannion. The two Borough stars always seem to be spoken of in the same breath, even after their playing days had finished. But their careers went in different directions, with only Hardwick opting for management. Borough fans of all generations held them in such esteem. That public demand saw Hardwick and Mannion in a long overdue testimonial in May 1983. Few will argue that history will dub them the kings of Ayresome Park.
What's your first memories there of Ayresome Park?
Oh, that's simple. My first game for the first team, first division football, against Bolton Wanderers. My first kick, I put in my own net. 3 minutes from kick-off, I scored in my own goal. And how can you get a better start than that? it was, fortunately, I guess being young and having so many brilliant players around me, it didn't make any difference, except that we lost 1-0. But I love this. As I say, I captained the team from 1946 through 51. We played to entertain. We had a brilliant footballing side. We drew record gates wherever we went, and yet we had nothing to show for it, apart from the satisfaction of having always between 35 and 50,000 gates, and the sheer pleasure of playing football at Ayresome Park, with the appreciation we got from the crowds, I wouldn't have chosen to play any place else. All I want to do is do it all over again.
Give us some of the names that you played with at your time in the 30s.
Oh, in the 30s, Bushby, Matt Bushby, Stan Matthews, Tommy Finney, Tommy Lawton, Frank Swift, Harry Hibbs, all the cream.
Some fantastic players there.
They were spoiled for choice. That's what I'm saying. If you didn't play well, you were out. As I said, each position was covered over 4 times. Each position was 4 times. And if you didn't play well, you were out.
What do you think of Brian Robson's team now? Does it rank anywhere in those players?
Oh, no. In today's football, it's all systems, nearly all systems, and natural players could never play through these systems. It had to be done off the cuff. You had to be a brilliant player when you hadn't the ball. You couldn't play systems at all.
And Middlesbrough can expect you at the first home game at the new ground?
Of course, I'll be there, yeah. I wish I had 14-year-old legs, though.
How old are you now?
I'm 77 next month.
And still looking very good, I must say.
OK, thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Out on the pitch, the pre-match watering of the playing surface produced one of the afternoon's lighter moments. 70 skipper Stuart Bone was given a real surprise during a live television interview.
Well, with me now, the captain of that great side of the 70s, Stuart Bone, a man largely responsible for making this fortress Ayresome Park. Great memories of that time.
Very kind of you to say that, yeah, but think we're getting sprayed with water at the
absolutely
moment.
soaked here. This wasn't the best place to stand. Sorry about that, Stuart.
It's all right, but it's really nice to be back here again, and I feel a bit tearful about the old stadium coming down because we had some magnificent times here, and it's nice to see the old lads again, John Hickton, John Craggs, David Mills. I've met them all in the last 10 minutes and I haven't seen them for 15 years, so it's really good to be back, and I'm glad Middlesbrough are doing so well.
Middlesbrough's first ever match at Ayresome Park was in September 1903, a 1-0 win over Glasgow Celtic. The North Stand must have been a magnificent sight when Borough moved in, and it served the club well down the ages. Borough were thinking big when they paid £1,000 for Alf Common, a football landmark in the transfer market. Tim Williamson was the goalkeeper on the first day at Ayresome. His 610 appearances are still a club record. The goals of George Camsell dominated the late 20s and 30s as the club suffered a series of promotions and relegations. In 1954, Ayresome Park staged an epic Amateur Cup final second replay when Crook beat Bishop Auckland. The home fans had little to celebrate that season, with relegation and the start of a 20-year exile from the top flight. The ground had a refit in the 60s. The extra work proved timely when it pipped St James's Park to become a venue for the 1966 World Cup. Ironically, the year the club dropped into Division 3 for the first time. That was a one-season nightmare. Borough bounced back at the first attempt. Good reason to celebrate. Three decades on, and Borough will begin life at their brand new stadium in the Premiership. Home for the next millennium, a state-of-the-art stadium at Millhaven on the banks of the Tees. A distinct horseshoe design. 32,000 will be the capacity, and £16 million is the cost of the largest new ground in the country. Work began in October '94. Brian Robson and George Hardwick presided over the groundbreaking ceremony. Then in stepped Taylor Woodrow Construction. They're tasked to build a new stadium fit for the next century in less than 10 months. Borough's fans have flocked to the visitor centre, making regular checks on the ground's progress.
Well, it's very exciting, and all the time I've been coming to see Middlesbrough. I couldn't believe it when the news was announced, and it's just so exciting. Can't wait till next season.
Are the plans you've seen what you expected?
Better than expected, if anything. Better than expected. It's very, very impressive, the size and the design of the stadium. It's a very sort of attractive design. Can't wait.
Very impressive. It just like gives you a glow in your heart to actually look at it and think we'll be there next season. Hopefully it's going to be the start of a new era for the club and we can actually go on and win something. Fingers crossed.
Can't wait for this new stand and, you know, all the excitement that goes with it, and I just hope we get the success, you know, that all the Borough fans deserve. So long awaited, you know.
That should be good for the development in this area, won't it? From being like a completely derelict area, like especially when they're bringing all the training pitches on and all that around the dock. It'll make it a decent area.
The 132-acre site provided by the Teesside Development Corporation has been transformed, and Borough are on the way to a new home, boasting some of the best equipped facilities of any football ground in Britain. The name for the new stadium was unveiled at the final day at Ayresome Park.
Here we go, with the naming of the new stadium. The ex-players are ready to tear up the squares here and reveal the name in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! The winning goes Riverside Stadium.
It was nearly time for Brian Robson and his side to take the stage. The question was, how would the champions-elect cope with the expectation? But first there was one more pre-match ceremony.
been a unique day celebrating Borough's past, but from now on, this afternoon, is all about the future. Can Brian Robson complete a magnificent start in football management by leading Borough into a new league as well as a new stadium? We've had a superb hors d'oeuvre. Now it's time for the main course. And what a fantastic reception. These supporters have been wound up all afternoon. They've been here an hour and a half, most of them, waiting to get their heroes onto the field. Great scenes and everything to play for. The manager's presence on the pitch is absolutely vital, of course. Robson's recurring calf problem has confined him to the dugout for the last 4 games, but his drive and inspirational qualities never more needed. In fact, it's a full-strength Borough side, with the exception of Robbie Mustoe, who's still out. Defence is back to normal, with skipper Nigel Pearson recovered from concussion, and Derek White back from suspension. Assistant manager Viv Anderson and Chris Morris stand down. Graham Kavanagh loses out to the manager. 2 strikers on the bench, Fuchs and Moreno. Attack, the name of the game. So the scheduled last league game at Ayresome Park is underway, and Borough fans hoping so much they do not have to return here for the agony and perhaps the ecstasy of the playoffs. The destiny in their own hands. Win the last 2 games today and at Tranmere next Sunday, and they're up, they're champions. They've only won the Division 2, as it were, Championship 3 times, 27, 29, and that famous 74 team, which the man alongside me knows all about. And how they love to sign off from Ayresome Park with genuine silverware. Luton Town, according to their manager David Pleat, have gone to sleep since they reached 51 points, which he considered a safety margin. They're without an away win so far this year in the league, but they have won 7 and drawn 7 and lost 8, which is not a bad away record. They're 16th in the division, 13 points clear of the relegation cut-off, and that represents a comfortable position indeed for them. They'll be relaxed, they'll be looking to enjoy the occasion, and they'll be looking to spoil the party. For Borough, the start so important. Alan Miller, who's been a rock himself, lifting that one forward. Luton very much a team who can really play if you let them, and I'm sure Borough will be swarming all over the midfield to try and compress the game, keep Luton back in their place and really get a grip on this last league fixture after 92 years of football. Alan Moore, one of the youngsters out there today. Leonardo Fjortoft not bothering to chase that one, which the experienced Trevor Peake booted clear. The players will be so pleased to just get this game underway. But that's Gary Waddock being challenged there by Jamie Pollock illegally. There'll be plenty of that out there, one suspects.
Yes, it'll be very competitive, and that's only to be expected. There's a lot at stake, particularly for Middlesbrough, but Luton will come and play, and Middlesbrough might quite enjoy that. They always seem to prefer to play against a side that allows them to play as well. But as you quite rightly said, Robson and Pollock in particular will be biting in midfield.
Turned on first time by Scott Oakes, not with any great sense of direction. Scored that second goal that knocked Newcastle out of the cup last season, when David Pleat's team really showed what they can do on their day. As the saying goes, they just don't have enough days. Alan Miller, who was not in goal when Borough conceded 5 at Kenilworth Road. Peake ready to attack this one, and not particularly challenged there by Fjortoft. White or Moore. Quick challenge in from Paul Telfer. It's a Borough ball. Derek White, after suspension with the throw-in. Cut out by Linton. Moore's picked it up though. Here's John Hendry. Square for Robson. He got a bit tangled up and Waddock took the ball off him. Pollock. Vickers. Pearson for Cox. Pollock. Fjortoft Having a bit of a wrestling match with Marvin Johnson. That'll be a physical scrap. And certainly Fjortoft enjoys backing into defenders and really letting them know he's around. Cox poised with the free kick. Fjortoft just pointing as to where he'd like it. Peake's picking him up at the moment. It's pulled out back and Alan Moore has to check to try and keep it going. White made too much of that free kick, to be honest.
Well, I don't think it was intended, that's for sure. Brian Robson was signalling to drop it into Fjortoft. There was space there, and I'm sure that Neil Cox pulled that one way behind where he intended it to go.
That's the sign of an understandable touch of nerves. They're looking to generate some pace and some zip pretty quickly, which is a style that Middlesbrough are more comfortable with. Pearson playing that one up towards our gantry. Pearson, who had concussion, missed 10 weeks in September through to November. Skipper back there today. It's Marshall. And that's Pollock hooking it forward. Hendry and Peake. Fjortoft just dropped off a little bit. That's a nice little touch. And then a really great ball to Alan Moore. Just couldn't bring it down, but Fjortoft knew exactly what he wanted to do with that one. And he knew that Moore would give him an option. That was good thinking from Fjortoft. Moore couldn't quite capitalise.
Well, when he flicks it up here, it's a great left-footed volley across the field, spreading the play. Alan Moore takes it well, knocks it in front of him, just slips slightly then, probably just takes it to one side rather than straight ahead of him on his left-hand side. But I must admit, when Fjortoft first flicked it up, I thought, well, he'll just play a little simple ball into Robson here, and he unleashed that left-foot volley there, which certainly opened the play.
Not exactly a shrinking violet, Fjortoft. He likes to put on a show. Very self-possessed international footballer. Miller will get some real distance on this. The pitch, considering the wear it's had, is in excellent condition. Here's Hendry now, giving it a chase. Hendry's got away. Penalty, is it? No, way. Referee waves play on. Mr. Vaines looked as though he was checking across to the linesman. Boos from the crowd there. Definitely inside. I thought for a moment he might be checking to make sure the tackle was actually inside.
Well, Hendry gets through here from the long kick. It's knocked down. Eventually Robson competes for it. It's knocked forward, and Hendry, through sheer persistence, gets goal side. I thought he was looking for the tackle. I thought he could have gone on there, but it looked as though he got his heels clipped. The only thing against it was he didn't get too much of a reaction from the Middlesbrough players.
Well, that one skipped through to Dwight Marshall. Now Marshall being challenged there all the way by White, and that is quite inspirational defending. Superbly read by White. Talk about determination to win that one. Heartbeats a little higher than normal, you think, out there, David?
Just a little bit, I think, yeah. A little bit of tension and anxiousness, but I mean, in fairness, that was an absolutely magnificent recovery from Derek White. I mean, super tackle.
But now it's Hendry. Hendry looking for the cross. Fjortoft is there, brings it down. Fjortoft into the middle. Oh, Pollock needed a touch, and it just ran on. And Priest can get it away. Fjortoft looking to lay the chance on a plate. Borough couldn't cash in. Fjortoft, though, causing problems. Robson turning into that one. That was Pollock. Mr. Vaines pulling that one back. Real chance though, David.
Yeah, John Hendry crossing to the far post. Fjortoft doing well, controlling it well with the outside of his right foot, sensibly cutting the ball back. And then Pollock, I think, thought somebody was coming in behind him and decided to leave it when he might have been as well just having a flash at it.
Fjortoft again bringing it down and knocking it through very intelligently indeed for Alan Moore. Blackmore is in the middle as well. They've got a deflection, and that's a corner. Fjortoft really thinking and really distributing the ball very imaginatively. Moore making his way to the centre. We have Blackmore, who's another corner kick specialist, and they're all forward. Fjortoft right in there, didn't reach Pearson. It was Luton Town's number 9, John Taylor, who knocked it away. Taylor right back there trying to get goal side of Pearson, looking for the near post knock-on. Blackmore again. He got it there, off the line. It was Robson's header. Robson so close to giving Borough the lead. Richard Harvey was the defender, along with Waddock on the line. Borough really going close there.
Well, the corner comes across here. Pearson gets the flick on, and Robson attacking the ball. Has to make contact from a standing jump.
Cox bursting through there. Just leave that replay maybe for a little later, with Borough pouring forward now. This is Alan Moore. Moore can't get through two of them. Borough really getting up ahead of steam. Blackmore's corner kicks then proving a real threat to Luton. Middlesbrough settling rather more and starting to cause one or two problems. Vickers found it out there. This is John Taylor. Taylor looking to have a go himself, perhaps. Vickers into the challenge. Taylor trying to turn again. Did well to find Telford. Marshall tries to turn. Again, excellent defending, this time by Pearson. White, Vickers. That's a defence that's really built up an understanding there. Forward now for Fjortoft. And Fjortoft again looking to release Moore, who was checked there by Linton. Moore really scrapping for it. Peak the defending, but here's Hendry. Hendry, and the keeper, young Kelvin Davis, stood his ground and blocked. Hendry nearly in there.
Well, they've had a couple of half chances, haven't they, Middlesbrough? Alan Moore doing well there, battling, forcing the defender into the back pass. Hendry onto it quickly. I thought Hendry might just have dropped the shoulder and taken it round him there, rather than playing it, trying to play past the keeper.
Again, Fjortoft backing in, and this time he gets his free kick. It's Marvin Johnson who's penalised. This is a really useful position as well. Fjortoft may well work on the principle that the more you're in there challenging, you're going to get one or two go your way. And he really has looked a handful. Goal scoring speaks for itself. Robson is there, Blackmore is there, Cox, Moore will have a go. Moore looks as though he fancies it, or it could be Blackmore. Well held, Kelvin Davis. Blackmore drifting it in there, getting it on target, maybe not quite the punch that it might have needed to really fly past the keeper. Pearson, Vickers all up there. Blackmore's corner towards Pearson, he got a knock on there. Fjortoft to scrap forward the line again, and it was Robson in there once more. They've got a penalty. It's a penalty to Middlesbrough. Let's sort out what happened.
Well, the ball comes across again. Pearson gets the flick. Good header back by Fjortoft. The head's going. It's kicked off the line. It happened so quickly. It's headed back in again. I honestly didn't see the handball. It was very, very insignificant. In fact, I think everybody's missed it.
A little pat on the cheek there. I don't know whether that offence happened when Robson was in there challenging. I don't think so. It came out again. Real pressure, though, on Neil Cox with the penalty. Cox for 1-0. Good save! The follow-up, and Kelvin Davis denies Borough, and still they're looking for a breakthrough. The teenage keeper pulling out the stops. Cox, real disappointment. concern, over-trying, frustration, all mental attitudes that can undermine a team. But Borough are boiling at the moment and really pouring in on Luton, but it just won't go in for them.
They've just got to make sure that they don't force the issue too much. They've got to be patient. There's plenty of time left. They haven't got to get it in their minds that it's going to be one of those days when things aren't going to go for them. They've just got to concentrate, keep playing the way they are, keep getting the ball in the box and attacking players.
Flags down though as Priest bursts through and Miller forced to pull out the save. That's always the warning. The push forward, the think about the attacks, and then Luton, who can play their football, break and cause something.
Well, it's little Priest here making the run from the left-hand side, does well, strikes it well with his right foot, which isn't his best foot, thankfully in that position, and Alan Miller there made a good save, although it was going to be a spectacular shot from that angle and that distance to beat Alan Miller.
There appeals to the offside then, corner taken short, square for Harvey, thought about blasting it and they still do, plays it out wide again, away solidly by Robson. Towards Taylor, Pearson there, Priest picks up the loose ball and keeps control and knocks it square for Telfer. Miller right behind that one, good technique, down on his knees, the whole body behind it. Good fielding, cricket style, bowled out as well to Clayton Blackmore. The run from Hendry, Fjortoft in the middle, plenty of white shirts there though. Back for Pollock, Fjortoft wants it played in, good first touch, Fjortoft the turn, and Davis didn't quite gather that so cleanly, but what a good take, and what a quick turn and shot there from Jan-Åge Fjortoft. A win today would take Borough 5 points clear of Reading, 6 clear of Bolton, who have got 2 to play. Borough currently 4 points ahead of Tranmere. Overcomes his free kick. Pearson with a header on. Hendry prepared to run for it. Hendry into the middle. Again, Luton getting plenty of bodies in the way, and it really matters. Hendry making some good diagonal runs. He's going to try and take defenders with him. Create some room for Fjortoft. And the midfield players, especially Robson, who've been quick to arrive. Blackmore with a corner kick. Again, the ball bobbling around. Again, it's hacked away. Marshall that time. Blackmore knocks it in. Keeper stayed where he was. Away to Moore. Moore can hit it on the left foot. Moore into the middle. Robson sliding in. Corner kick. Alan Moore, when he drifts out wide and opens up space onto that left foot, can really hit them. Robson, though, was in the middle, and he's really pushed on and got into advanced positions today. Borough corner to the last minute of the first half. Only half away. Hendry was challenging. Pearson scrapping as well. Hendry opening up room. And it's a goal! Middlesbrough have taken the lead. Hendry's shot, and Ayresome Park erupts right on the stroke of half-time, and Borough, who've been pushing and pushing, have got the breakthrough. John Hendry.
Well, Hendry does well here. Ball comes out to him, he runs across the goal and he takes a deflection. His shot here deflects off Marshall, I think it is, back there in a defensive position. Unfortunate for Luton, unfortunate for the goalkeeper, but a little bit of good fortune for Middlesbrough, which is probably no more than they deserve, because they've not had the best of luck in situations earlier. Looping shot there over the top of the goalkeeper. John Hendry will be delighted with that, I'm sure.
It's his 16th of the season. Got a deflection, but I'm sure there's no doubt Hendry will go into the record books on this last day as getting the breakthrough. 1-0 the Borough. And here comes Alan Moore. And Fjortoft, oh, what a chance! Fjortoft could have buried that one. He can't believe it. And Luton in danger of falling off the edge of the earth.
Well, there's not a great deal you can say about this. Alan Moore does really well there, heads it down, he bounces up, and Fjortoft 9 times out of 10 would put those away.
Roberts header, Harvey forward, Cox was in there, Hendry again, Cox looking to push on, Johnson, good work there, Pearson. Bad bit of dainty control from the big man, but he just dwelt on it a little bit too long, and now Luton have got the ball back. Marshall trying to get round the back again, but there's Pearson. And Priest, I think, had a bit of a think about that challenge. Saw Pearson take off and launching himself at the ball, and said, that looks yours to me as well.
Well, once Nigel Pearson elected to do that, he was always going to be second favourite, Priest, wasn't he? And I think it was a question of discretion being the better.
I think it was going to be Pearson's ball. Yeah. Priest had got it. Marshall, touch off there for Oakes. In Pollock challenging. Marshall, though, looking a bit lively on the ball when he gets the chance and bringing that foul out of Brian Robson. Now the free kick from an interesting position.
The problem they've got at the moment, Middlesbrough, is that they're playing 5 in midfield. Luton. Marshall's dropping off to make a midfield 5 with Telfer, Oates, and Priest giving them an extra man in there. And Middlesbrough are not sure whether to push anybody in from the back or not. And of course, this little interchange of position and this fluency they have, Luton, from midfield is causing Middlesbrough problems.
A few men square for anything touchdown. It's lifted in towards Taylor. It's goal. Equaliser. They're appealing the Borough players, but it's in from John Taylor. That's 1-1. Disaster for the Borough, but Luton caught them napping with the dead ball kick. And really, Borough's chances to cash in are all ahead of them, but they've got to get that lead back. 1-1 here against Luton Town. Fjortoft flags up John Hendry. A lot of anxious people in this ground, and I'm sure one of them is the former Middlesbrough skipper Tony Mowbray. Well, Tony, they've got to really get back into their stride now, Middlesbrough.
Yes, Roger. They'll be looking for the real strong characters, I think, on the field. Looking at Nigel Pearson there, Brian Robson. They need to get about the players and really another surge, a big push. There's danger of the crowd getting behind them now, and that's what they need. They need to lift it again. It's gone a bit flat for them. They need a big surge and see if they can get that second goal.
Thank you, Tony. Made a bit of the old Mowbray spirit, dare I say it. Well, they've got 1 or 2 chips off the Mowbray block, as it were, out there in the Borough team. Some hard and determined pros out there. But they've also got to keep cool. Further news from the Hawthorns. It's certainly all happening down there. In 68 minutes, John Aldridge pulled Tranmere back to 2-1, and a minute later, a second goal for Lee Ashurst makes it West Brom 3, Tranmere 1. 3 goals then in 6 minutes down at the Hawthorns. 2 of them for Lee Ashcroft, 1 for Aldridge. 3-1 West Brom leading Tranmere here at Ayresome Park on this last league match. 1-1 Borough Luton. Taylor, the man who got the equaliser, now in possession. And that one cut out, an important interception too by Steve Vickers. And as Tony Mowbray was just saying a minute or 2 ago, they need a lift, they need a pick-up, they need a bit of spark.
They do, that's right. I mean, the effort is there, it's just a little bit misguided at the moment. I don't think you can fault the team in terms of effort and commitment, but they're just allowing Luton to dictate the play now. As I say, they're playing 4 at the back and they're only pushing Taylor up front. They've got to have the mental courage now to maybe just push on and take the game. And as Tony Mowbray said, surge, but they've got to do it in a competitive and composed way.
Into Hendry. Fjortoft. Hendry through. Hendry. It's another excellent save from Kelvin Davis, and another chance that Middlesbrough don't convert. 18-year-old Davis standing his ground again. Well, John Henry certainly got free then. Not the first one-on-one we've had, and Davis has certainly done his bit to make Borough go all the way if they want to win this First Division Championship. Moore. A little bit over-deliberate, if anything, Borough at the moment. A little bit of inhibition into the play now that wasn't there earlier. Robson, nothing inhibited about him, surely. Moore, he can win a game. Pollock, he's the sort of person they'll look to really push on. Pollock bursting through the men there, and White supporting as well, and still with White, and Hendry! Goal! Borough! John Hendry! Hendry's second, and Middlesbrough back in charge. John Hendry, who's done so much over the years, puts the smile back on the Middlesbrough supporters. And they can't stop celebrating down there.
Well, terrific positive run here from Pollock. He goes through, he's fouled there. The referee, in fairness, allows advantage. Derek White does terrific here, keeps his composure, cuts it back. John Henry, one-touch control, and then just clips it into the corner. Full credit to Derek White here, who does brilliant.
He's having the game of his life. Meanwhile, here's Fjortoft first. Fjortoft, corner kick to complete the story. Lee Ashcroft has got a hat-trick for West Brom. A 71st minute penalty. It's now West Brom 4, Tranmere 1. Tranmere are falling. They started this game 4 points behind the Borough with a game in hand. And now it's Borough who are leading. And it's Tranmere who are struggling. There's Henry, the man of the moment. Through for Robson. Davis is there again. Fox. Now Henry again. Henry into the middle, looking for Cox. Pollock. It's heading the wrong way. Jamie Pollock there for a moment. Peak. Crease. Well held Miller. Just when our keeper needs to be reliable. 16 clean sheets in 39 league games before today. Robson considering his own future in a playing sense this week. Well, the ball's out of play, David. Your man of the match, please.
Well, there's been a couple of great performances, but I've actually given it to Derek White. I think he's been inspirational this afternoon, both defensively and, of course, in laying on that second goal for John Henry, which is unusual to see Derek up there on the dead ball line in the opposition penalty area.
I remember early days of the first half, he made that quite sensational chase back and tackle, and that really set his stall out, Derek White, who started the season having to battle his way into the team, but has come in at left back and looked mightily assured. Collapsed on And around Tranmere Rovers this afternoon, latest score from the Hawthorns, it's 5-1 to West Brom now. West Brom 5, Tranmere 1. And maybe they'll be relieved it's not on goal difference in this league if it gets a bit tight at the end. Bob Taylor getting the 5th goal there for West Bromwich Albion. 2-1 here, Borough lead. Now they could really wrap it up here. Fjortoft is in the middle, Hendry has to deliver. Fjortoft is just a bit too far, but Hendry, in fairness to him, had to bend it round the defender as well, and it was a fine angle to bisect. Fjortoft would have loved to have wrapped it all up there. It's drifted over Cox, that one, into the final minute, well into it. Borough need to hang on. Linton, Robson, good positioning and so calm to play it out for Alan Moore. Moore. And now here's Hendry. Could it be a hat-trick for Hendry? Hendry! Fjortoft! Oh, he's put it wide! Fjortoft! Fjortoft could have had a couple himself today. And Hendry that time wanted to be the provider. Robson, Pollock now has got the ball. Only 2 minutes of stoppage time. Well, Ayresome Park has seen 8 promotions and 8 relegations over the years, and the whistle's gone. Borough on their way by taking another major step to another promotion, perhaps. It's been the day that started by looking back, but has ended with the sights very firmly set on the future, thanks to John Hendry. Up the Borough is the message there, and thanks to 2 goals from John Hendry, Borough still heading in the right direction. Some of the supporters have come on the pitch in their exuberance. Pearson there, the skipper. Individual celebrations going around, and I think many of the crowd want the fans to go off so they can play their own tribute to the Middlesbrough players. The mood is certainly high. Players getting cheered off the pitch. Robson there, right in the middle of it all. And he's asking them to go back, and I think he was quite prepared to acknowledge the applause of the crowd, but Robson's message this week has been, we will not be celebrating until we have something definite to celebrate. Robson playing the diplomat there in encouraging the players to get the fans off the pitch. On a day when everything has gone so right for them on the pitch, in an incident-filled game, it's a pity we've had 1 or 2 of these over-enthusiastic fans come on to celebrate, and I think everybody was looking for the set piece to end with a little bit more sense of theatre. Robson mobbed by the supporters who've really worshipped what he's done here, the lift he gave the club when he came here, and the influence he's had on the team. Brian Robson is the cry from the crowd. It's ended here 2-1 to Middlesbrough in this vital game. Let's go down and hear from the man himself, Brian Robson, with Ian Payne.
Brian Robson, congratulations, what a fantastic way to finish off here at Ayresome Park.
Yeah, it was a hot day, and the lads really put it in, and played everything.
Tremendous performance, it could have been 5-1. The reason I mentioned that scoreline is, you might be pleased to know, that West Brom have beaten Tranmere by 5 goals to 1.
We like to make it hard for ourselves. It keeps everybody on the toes.
So really it is down to yourselves now. Only yourselves and Bolton can win this championship.
We've said it all the time, it was up to us. We've still got a bit of work to do yet.
As you say, I don't know if you heard me there, Tranmere have lost 5-1 this afternoon, so it's all to play for.
That's all right, but this was the main result. The lads did their own business, and you know, we need to do that next week as well.
It's been a tremendous atmosphere here all afternoon. What a send-off.
Cheers.
Okay, thanks Brian. And John Hendry, the man who scored the 2 goals. Fantastic match for you.
Yeah, I mean the crowd have come out in the force today.
And it was a bit emotional. I mean, going to new ground and what have you. But this is the best atmosphere I've played in Ayresome Park. It's fantastic.
Fantastic final match here. The fans, what can you say about them?
Absolutely magnificent. Just look at them now. And hopefully we can get the point we need. It's not over yet. There's still a bit of work to be done.
Are you confident you'll be in the Premiership next season, John?
I'll tell you next Saturday, next Sunday.
Thanks very much, John.
Okay. Cheers.
Well, you can see the players have come back to take the applause. They were very coy indeed about taking the salute without it all being wrapped up, but they've taken such an important step forward. The man of the match is Derek White, and you can see it being presented to him.
Derek White, congratulations. Man of the match this afternoon, presented by Bill Corcoran of Ainsley. A tremendous afternoon.
Yeah, tremendous. It was always going to be difficult for us. There was so much pressure on the boys to perform. I don't think they had much chances really. I thought we played very well. I'm just delighted I made a contribution for John's goal. So it's a great day for everybody here.
Thanks very much, Derek.
It was the perfect end to a perfect day. Victory in Borough's final match at Ayresome Park turned out to be all they needed to secure the First Division Championship. The season's final game at Tranmere Rovers proved not to be important in the race to join the Premiership. Borough had a bright new future at a brand new home to look forward to. Plenty of reason to celebrate.